moving on to the next game, another one of my clients, Senegal. Senegal versus France. Safe to say, that was one of the worst first halves ever played by this current French team. I was watching this team and I'm thinking like, what the hell's going on? Missed passes, passes going behind the back, behind the legs, not hitting people in stride, and I'm thinking like, what? Is this the France that people are saying are gonna have a cakewalk to the final, lift up this trophy? Because it wasn't looking like it. And Senegal, they had a few chances early, they didn't take that. They didn't take those chances, and that's where it all went south. Because in the second half, the cream rises to the top. Elise, Mbappe, Mini, Rabiot, the French centre back Saliba, and what's the other dude's name? Upamecano. Just with Senegal not taking those chances, man. I don't know what was said in those sheds, but France came out, turned everything around, and then they just started applying pressure. Senegal couldn't cope, and before you know it, a 3-1 victory to France. But maybe Senegal isn't as good as I thought they were. Maybe that's a bit harsh, but because they are playing France. But yeah, you got to take your chances. And Senegal are notorious for not capitalizing on their chances, to be honest, time and time again. The main culprit of this is Nicholas Jackson, man. This dude just scuffs goal, blows chances and goals time and time again. And on a continental level, that might work at the AFCON, because you're clearly more talented than all of these other teams, bar maybe Ivory Coast and Morocco, who are your equal. But yeah, at this stage against the European teams, you got to take your chances, man. And I feel like Nicholas Jackson just does not do that. Neither did Sarr. Sarr's just, yeah, he had that one clear chance which he just absolutely smoked. And you can't do that against France. Especially against a team like France, you need to be the one to score first. You need to be the one to score first and apply pressure. Because as soon as this team gets that first goal on you, it's over. They smell blood and they just pack it on hard, man. You are not coming back if France scores that first goal, because they loosen up, and then that's when they get to working. That's when they get to cooking, and that's what we saw. Elise putting balls on a dime for Mbappe. Who was it? Who else was it? Barcola scored. So yeah, I think for Senegal, they're a top striker away from really moving into that upper echelon. Because even in the AFCON final, they, despite the controversy and all that, they only won 1-0, and I feel like a huge part of that was because they kept missing chances time and time again, and they were chances, what's it called? Nicholas Jackson blew a couple, Iliman and Ndiaye blew a couple, some of the guys that came off the bench, and at this level you cannot do that. So I don't think it's panic buttons yet for Senegal, but you're playing Norway next game, and Norway did play Iraq, so maybe Iraq made them look better than what they were. But yeah, Senegal, they probably don't have a reason to panic yet, but I was surprised to see Sarr starting, honestly. I know it was for the counter attack and whatnot, but what's the point of playing, putting guys on for the sake of counter attack when they cannot finish off chances? Ndiaye is a better player. He's the better option on that right wing. He is much more creative, and would definitely trouble Theo Hernandez more than what Sarr does. As for Mane, elder statesman, it's crazy how much pace this dude has lost. This dude was one of the fastest players in Europe just 5-6 years ago, man. And yeah, age is catching up with him. This is probably his last World Cup. I don't even know if he'll be at the next AFCON, but Now with Mane at the back end of his career, you're looking at the next core group, who can step up, who can be that guy. You got guys like Mbai, Diarra, who's going to step up, who's it going to be. But like I said, Senegal have no reason to panic yet, but they have to turn up and start strong against Norway. No matter what, you have to be first to score, and this will be an even match. But you have to take your chances, and Norway will give you chances. Like we saw against Iraq. But obviously, Iraq is a sorry team. They're not. Good on them for making the World Cup. They're just not like that. And Senegal does have those qualities, but they have to take advantage, because you lose to Norway, bro, it's over. At worst, a draw. At best, come away with the 3 points, but at worst, a draw. And you have the quality to beat Norway, but you got to turn up right. And Nicholas Jackson, seriously, man, just stop being a bum and finish off these chances. You got to do your thing, turn up, get the 3 points. The worst thing that could happen for Senegal is France come out the next game, absolutely spank Iraq, and then decide to rest their players against Norway. Now, Norway could go out there against France as B team or C team and possibly upset them. Now Senegal's wondering, what just happened? Obviously these are all hypotheticals. You can't think too far ahead. But what Senegal needs to do is win this next game. Point blank period.